After a very, very dramatic, action-packed junior road tax finale for day 2, we now head to DD2 DD2 for their final race of the weekend. Here's the starting grid. So Glenn van Parijs starts from pole position, and with him will be countryman and former teammate Son of Triblak in the 402. They complete the front row. Davide Fore from Italy and Ragnar Virus from Estonia. They are on row number 2. Yannick Goossens in the 490 from Belgium and Austria's Manuel Tenschert in the 484. They round out row number 3. Sebastian Janczewski in the 483 from Poland and Matis Malinowskis from Latvia in the 414. That's row number 4, with Fabian Bock from Germany in the 481 and Poland's Kasper Bielecki in the number 446, rounding out the top 10. Robert Schorpian and Richard Subekis in the 477 representing Germany and the 471 representing Latvia respectively, round out row 6. Belgium's Sebastian de Gron in the 447 and Dan Zopfi from the Netherlands in the 472 comprise of row number 7. Maxime de Riche in the number 499 from Belgium and 488 of Mark Bartels from Germany. That's row 8. Row 8. Henry Ayres from Great Britain in the 429 and Imke Arts from the Netherlands in the 421. That's row 9. With the 21 strong grid rounded out by David Maslakiewicz from Poland in the 455, Bas van Vlimmeren from the Netherlands in the 452, and Mick Knowlton in the 403 from the Netherlands, who has a bit of work to do after a DNF in the last race following contact between himself and Imke Arts. So again, 13 minutes on the clock plus an additional lap to go. And after this, we will have 3 more races. DD2 Masters will have the Senior Max B final and the Senior Max A final, with the prize ceremony taking place at 17:15 at the podium this afternoon, which will be live streamed. Just to add, for those wondering, for those watching at home that are unable to join us here. So it looks like we're going to go into the tram lines. DD2 gets ready. Are we ready? Are we steady? Looks like we have gotten away. And it is a good start once again for Glenn van Parijs. Oh, Son of Triblak gets hustled and pushed towards the outside as Davide Fore gets up into second initially. But then Son of Triblak reasserts himself back up the inside through turn number 3. 2 by 2 at certain points towards the bottom part of the top 10. They go through turn 5 as someone's trying to do an audacious around the outside move. That was Richard Subekis, I believe, from Latvia, as Triblak and Fore nearly come to blows, and there go. Now, who is that? That's Yannick Goossens. Yannick Goossens just absolutely mugged Davide Fore going through the outside of turn number 7 and through 8 as he managed to get past whilst Fore and Triblak were battling over second position. Janczewski rounds out the top 5. Oh my goodness me, the powder keg has literally been, the light on the powder keg here has been lit, and it has literally exploded within the first lap as Glenn van Parijs has an initial gap. He's done as Sebastian Vettel has the Belgian in the 401. He's up by 1.3 seconds on Son of Triblak. Yannick Goossens in 3rd, Davide Fore in 4th, Sebastian Janczewski, Fabian Bock from Germany, up from P9 to P6. Ragnar Virus in 7th, Manuel Tenschert in 8th. And then we've got Maxime de Riche from 15th. He's got up into 9th ahead of Latvia's Matis Malinowskis in the bright blue 414 chassis, which if you turned the lights off right now, it would probably be glow in the dark. But Van Parijs able to stretch a comfortable advantage, and considering the fact he did a 21.743 in the first sector and a 16.1 in sector 2. Van Parijs crosses the line to start lap number 3 and puts in a 54.215, fastest lap out of anybody. Son of Triblak nearly a second and a half behind. Well, he was until Yannick Goossens decided otherwise and went up the inside of the 2-time former B&L Karting Series DD2 champion through turn 2. And now the scramble is on. And there are at least 7 karts battling away as Triblak up the inside of Yannick Goossens to retake second position through turn 2. turn 7, as Janchevski gives Davide Fori a little bump from behind, nearly looks up the inside of him going through into turn 9, but on that occasion the Italian went on the defensive rather quickly, as up the inside that was Fabian Bock, up the inside of Sebastian Janchevski. So the German from Voik Motorsporters, oh, little touch from behind that was Ragnar Virus on Sebastian Janchevski. So the Polish driver having to wait for what's happening, as there is a move from Manuel Tencher. He's gone scything up the inside of Ragnar Virus. Made it stick, and there's Robert Schopian from Kashmi in the 477 from Germany, right up the back bumper of the Estonian. My goodness, these drivers are not leaving any stone unturned whatsoever by any stretch of the imagination. As now the battle for second, third and fourth really intensifying, as Sriblak's lost another place. He's behind the 435 of Italy's Davide Fori. And so on this particular occasion, Sriblak is now at everyone. Well, he's in the clutches now. Fabian Bock's right behind him. Fabian Bock from 9th to 5th in just the first 3.5 minutes of this race shows a spirited performance. So Maxim Derish, I think, has just passed. That is more than likely going to be Robert Schopian from Germany, and Schopian rounds out the top 10. But at the moment, Glenn Van Parijs looking to cement a considerable lead at the end of this weekend. He's done the textbook day. He's had 2 pole positions. He's had a victory and a third yesterday. He's on course for a second victory today in the final, and no one at the minute can touch the reigning defending champion. Everyone's battling all over each other, and there's argy-bargy. There's front bumpers hitting rear bumpers, as Malinovskis very much just up front of a few other people. And it looks like we've got Kasper Bielecki, Richard Subekis in there. Imke Arts, Mick Knowlton has managed to get himself up into 18th position. But the Dutch driver running it with GKS Lemons Power, not having the greatest Sunday at this particular moment in time, as there's a move there. Great move by Davide Fori up the inside of Jan Negusens. And now Fabian Bock and Sebastian Janchevski come back into the fray. This quintet of drivers battling over second position. And Davide Fori still doing his best, third in the earlier pre-final. So Van Parijs has gotten off into the distance like a scalded cat on a hot tin roof. And he's 2.7 seconds to the good ahead of the driver behind him. Well, it could be closer to 3 seconds. Ragnar Virus, in the meantime, has set the fastest lap of anybody. The Estonian down in 8th position behind Manuel Tencher by about half a second. And trying to close on him, the Biralat Baltics driver, of 53.958. Gap now between first and second, nearly 3 seconds. Jan Negusens still trying to look at the opportunity to go up the inside of Davide Fori, who was 2.977 seconds behind Glenn Van Parijs. Arnhem Schirblack rounds out the top 4. Fabian Bock and Sebastian Janchevski are now there or thereabouts. Manuel Tencher and Ragnar Virus will factor in. So rather than it being a quintet, it will be a septet of drivers looking to go for second position in this last race of the day. There is a cart pulled to the side, and that unfortunately is off of the Europalan, Richard Subekis. So down to 20 drivers we go. Mick Knowlton has made his way up into 14th, so he's made a quick getaway through some of the other drivers as Arnhem Schirblack goes up the inside of Jan Negusens. And now retakes third position. 6 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock to go. As there's a move from Janchevski up the inside of Fabian Bock through the final corner. Will the Polish driver make it through? And not on this particular occasion. Fabian Bock blocks that time, but Janchevski gets through. And then Tencher tries to get through. And that was through on turns 2 and 3. So Janchevski gets past Bock through turn 2. Manuel Tencher trying to look at an opportunity on the very next corner, but the Austrian was denied right there and then. And the gap between first and second now extends to over 3 seconds at this particular moment. Drivers from Virus all the way down to Bartels have all done a personal best in this race, but the lead is very much established. And now Manuel Tencher has got Ragnar Virus close behind him. They're also closing on Janchevsky and Bock, who round out the top 6 positions. Battle for second position starting to become a 3-way scrap. And that's being led by DD2 from Italy, with Zanov Shrivlak and Yannick Gussens from Belgium, both of them respectively, rounding out the top 4. As there goes Fabian Bock up the inside, using the slipstream to perfect effect there, but he gets run a little bit wide, courtesy of Sebastian Janchevsky, who, with the Polish driver, getting his elbows out, and that now allows Manuel Tenchert, who looks over the right shoulder to see where Ragnar Virus is, and he's right up his back bumper at this particular moment. And Tenchert goes defensive on Virus going into turn 12. Mick Knowlton now closing in on 11th position. And he's got 2 drivers to get through to get to that place. And it's Maxim Dehish in 12th and Kasper Bielecki, who rounds out the top 11. Battles still waging on. The battle for second. The battle for 5th. The battle for 7th. All very hotly contested. And now you got the battle for what will be 9th position, because Robert Shorpian closing in on Matis Malinovskis. As Maxime Deriche feeling the heat under the collar, courtesy of Mick Knowlton. And round at the back of the field, it's been a difficult day for Sebastian de Grand. He started P13 in this race. He's down in 20th position. Ricard Subekis will be glad that this weekend is over and done with, because he started P12 ahead of the number 447 and is out after just 5 laps. And the battle waging on is allowing Van Parijs to get away into the distance. Davide Fori coming under pressure once again. As Zanov Shrivlak hot on his heels. The 402, based out of Genk, is making his way through and trying to get past at every possible opportunity that presents itself. It could happen going into turn 7. We've seen some dynamite overtakes in years past, especially the tail end of last season from Shrivlak himself, as he closes on Davide Fore. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Personal bests being set by several drivers, but Zanov Shrivlak now has the fastest lap of anybody in this race, and he completed that on lap number 8, and he's closing in on Davide Fore once again. As Ragnar Virus closing on Manuel Tenchert once again for position. But Tenchert will not give that up easily, as Zanov Shrivlak slingshots his way past Davide Fore going through into turn 2, and he makes the move complete by the apex of turn number 3. Very calm, very precise work from the Belgian. They go into turn 6. Down the Europalan. So the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th and possibly 8th position is being decided by the quartet, led by Fabian. Well, it's got Sebastian Janchevsky. Fabian Bock was briefly in 5th position. However, that has now changed, so the Polish driver has got the advantage on the German. Then it's Austria and Estonia represented in that quartet. So another consistent lap. Glenn Van Parijs is putting in exactly the lap times he needs. He's been putting in 53.9s. And that has happened over the last 4 to 5 laps by my count. His best lap time of 53.890. But Fabian Bock from Germany, trying to close in on Sebastian Janchevsky, has just put in the fastest lap of the race. He was over a 10th quicker than Janchevsky with a 53.793 on the completion of lap number 12. And the German knows that time is fast running out. And it looks like we've got someone slowing down on the Europalan. That looks to be Henry Ayres from KR Sport. A very, very steep learning curve going from Rotax 177 in the United Kingdom to DD2. But to give the Brit credit, to come out here and do his level best, he's done a very, very good job to keep things as best he can on the Blackstaff. But the battle for second wages on unabated once again as we head into the last 60 seconds of this race. Shrivlak versus Fore into turn number 6 down the Europalan. Fore will have the slipstream, and into turn 7 they go. That particular occasion, Zanov Shrivlak was wise to it, waited, and then placed the carts exactly where he needed to. So next time around, Glenn van Parijs will go on to the 15th and penultimate lap of this race. And his gap now between him and Son of Shrivelak was 3.5 seconds last time around. Well, it was Davide Fore last time. This time it's 3.7. As now Fore will know that he's got this, plus an additional lap to go to try and get past Son of Shrivelak and take second position at the dying moments of this race. Jarne Gussens, you can never count out the 490. However, on this particular occasion, it looks like he is going to be up against it to try and close on the two in front. As a move there, Fabian Bock up the inside of Sebastian Janczewski, the German using turn 7 again to great effect. And Manuel Tenchert being pressurised once again by Ragnar Virus. So this could get rather messy. And a little bit further back, Kasper Bielecki battling away with Maxime de Riche. Henry Ayres has pulled the cart into the pits, so the Brits weekend is done and dusted, unfortunately, but we're on the final lap. Son of Shrivelak now has Davide Fore waiting in the wings to see if he can put a move back past the Belgian, but it looks like that there's going to be some drama here, and that's the battle between 5th to 8th position. Janczewski nearly had Tenchert going up the inside of him. And then Ragnar Virus fancied his chances going through in towards the entrance of turn 3, but nothing happened for any of those drivers. And Matis Malinovskis starts to close in on them. And Mick Knowlton trying to get past, looks like Kasper Bielecki in the dying throes of this race. But the leader now making his way through turn 10, exiting out, going through the left at 11, because it looks to be a good start to the 2021 season. The reigning and defending champion, Glenn van Parijs, does the double here on Easter Sunday and takes the victory quite comfortably by 3.875 seconds. Son of Shrivelak, again, a second-place finish here today in both the pre-final and the final. Davide Fore rounds out the top 3 ahead of Jarne Gussens, with Fabian Bock starting down in 9th and finishing in 5th. Manuel Tenchert started in 6th position, would finish in 7th behind Janczewski. Ragnar Virus started on the outside of row 2 and ended up in 8th place. Matis Malinovskis started 8th and finished in 9th. Robert Chopian up from 11th to P10 and was fighting for a top 8 finish in this DD2 final. Kasper Bielecki, Maxime de Riche, Dan Zopfi, Mick Knowlton, Mark Bartels, David Maslakiewicz, Imke Arts and Sebastian de Graan making the full race distance. And unfortunately on lap number 15, Bas van Vlimmeren retired. Henry Ayres on lap 13 with Richard Subekis retiring on lap number 6.